Sports Release Show for Saturday, January 28th. The chat has called it. It is a busy Saturday, to put it lightly, with more than I've seen 130 games, 140 games. There's about 110 on the main card rotation, 1,142 people waiting for the show to get rolling. We're going to keep the pace moving pretty quickly today. So have the extra screen, the phone, the tablet, whatever you're using the bet, ready to go. Before we get rolling, there's a like button down below. If you've already subscribed to the channel, hit that like button. We got 225 last video. For a Saturday like this, with the shows doing as well as they are, I think we can get that to 300 or 400 today. So hit that like button down below. But it's something I want to talk about. This is important because this came up before we came on the show. I'm going to put something up on the screen here. 29% of the 4,100 subscribers have notifications enabled. And what's really sad about this, only 21% of you guys have all notifications turned on. So I'll make this really easy for you. Right down below, there's a subscribe button. You just have to hit it. I took these screenshots before we came on to help everybody. Hit the subscribe button and then make sure that you hit that bell button. That's going to make a big difference for you. You'll get all the notifications. You guys can do it. 29%. It's too low. So let's get those subscribes up. Let's get those likes up. It's free to follow the channel. The bets, they're doing well already. 34 and 25 here on the free release shows. You're getting value and a plus EV bet with every single release that is given out here on the channel. And remember, we are doing these shows every Thursday, every Saturday that are scheduled at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. But the benefit of being a subscriber, you get all of those notifications sent to your phone. So remember, hit the button, hit the bell, and you will get all of those notifications. So here we go. Yeah, see, this is why we're doing it right here. Thanks. Never knew about the bell. Nobody knows about the bell. That's part of the trouble. You got to hit subscribe, then you got to hit the bell. We'll talk more about this on the next show. But for now, let's get to the first setup here on the show. So we'll give everybody a couple of seconds to get the sports book ready, whether you're using the app, the tablet, the extra screen, a couple laptops. It's going to be a busy Saturday, so we're going to move very quickly. Here we go. First setup for this Saturday card. We will go down to game number 744. Kansas State minus 4.5, 6 p.m. Eastern time. 744 Kansas State minus 4.5, 6 p.m. Eastern time. We will keep these setups to about 20 seconds today. So again, you're going to have to move very quickly. $7.44 Kansas State minus 4.5 at 6 p.m. Eastern is a cancel. No bet on Kansas State minus 4.5. For those of you setting prop odds in the chat on the first bet, cancel or not, saw the cancel was about minus 160 for it to be on the first bet. So cash those in the prop chat for everybody who was following before the show. Kansas State minus 4.5 is a cancel to start the show. Get going with the next setup in just a couple of seconds. Setup number 2 of this show is game number 695, New Mexico State, Utah Valley, over 145.5 at 4 p.m. Eastern time. 695, New Mexico State, Utah Valley, over 145.5, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Game number 695, New Mexico State, Utah Valley, over 145.5 is a go. We're betting New Mexico State, Utah Valley, over 145.5. This is a go. Little bit of a slower than expected reaction. A lot of games. There we go. There's all the red popping up on the screen. Took a second. So I think people are going to have success with this one. New Mexico State, Utah Valley, over 145.5 is the first bet. And Paul was able to grab 144.5. That was the initial line. It's been a number that's been on the move all morning. 145.5 for Joe, 145.5 for West Coast guy. Able to get all these shows. Sean grabbed a 43.5 at Ace. Good grab there. Nico was able to get 144 4.5. Chris was able to get on the release number at 145.5. Same thing with Ramsey. David Hayward was able to get 145.5. First comment of the day in the chat today for David Hayward. He was up and ready to go early. Paulo, Sam, Evan, Kevin, Grayson, Keegan, all 145.5. As expected, a lot of 145.5 coming in the chat. That number in and of itself is a tongue twister on a Saturday morning. Here's this number now up as high as it looks like 149 at Jazz, 148 elsewhere. A successful first release, New Mexico State, Utah Valley, over 145.5 at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Moving on, we will get to setup number 3 in just a couple of seconds. So get ready for the next one. Next setup, game number 794, UC Irvine minus 16 at 9 p.m. Eastern. 794, UC Irvine minus 16, 9 p.m. Eastern. Going to have to scroll a long way down for this one. 794, UC Irvine minus 16, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Couple more seconds for Irvine minus 16. Game number 794, UC Irvine minus 16 at 9 p.m. Eastern is a cancel. Not betting UC Irvine minus 16. This is a cancel. Remove it from your bet slip as we get ready to go quickly into the next setup. Next setup, game number 618, Western Carolina VMI under 140, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Game number 618, Western Carolina VMI under 140, and that is at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Give everyone a couple more seconds on this setup. Game number 618, Western Carolina VMI under 140 is a go. We're betting Western Carolina VMI under 140. This is a go. This one's going to move very quickly. They all do, but this one should go especially so. So let us know where you were getting that 140 as we see as low as 137.5. Boy, the Caesars jump in a hurry on all of these shows, all the way down as the market's going to come down in a hurry. Doug, 140. Ramsey was able to get that as well. Jacob, 140.5, half a point to the good side. Same thing with Michael and Jonathan. Dram, 140. West Coast guy again in at 140. That guy can move on these releases. Brad, 140 as well. Same thing with Joel, half a point better. Saw Robert in there before the chat blew up. Was able to find a 141. Same thing with Zach, 2, half a point better. Seeing that a couple times now show up as well. Seeing 140 at the PPH is 140 for Michael as well. Another Michael. Lots of Michaels in the chat today. 140 as well. Hook better for Alec as well. And Michael, again, too many Michaels to keep up with. 140 as well popping up. Ian was able to get half a point better as well. So it looks like people were able to get that one before it jumped quickly. Another game this morning, as with many of them that had some movement pre-show, so had a feeling that that one might go in a hurry, but looks like a lot of folks able to get that 140 or even 140.5. Moving on to the next setup. We'll give you a couple seconds here. We are going to go and set up game number 712, Northern Illinois +4 at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. 712, Northern Illinois +4, 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. Couple more seconds on 712, Northern Illinois +4 at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. $712, Northern Illinois +4 is a cancel. This setup is a cancel. We are not betting Northern Illinois +4. Have it in your bet slip, remove it, and get ready for the next setup. Next setup, We are going to game number 744, Florida, Kansas State, under 142 at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. 744, Florida, Kansas State, under 142, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Couple more seconds to find and set up. 744, Florida, Kansas State, under 142, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Game number 744, Florida, Kansas State, under 142 is a go. We're betting Florida, Kansas State, under 142. This is a go. Looks like everybody should be able to get release or better on this one, as you should be able to get. Again, we're seeing a lot of gray on the board, not a lot of red immediately. Going to see a lot of people with a very good number on this one. Adam, 142.5. Leafs are at 143. Was able to get that. Ed, half a point better. Same thing with Michael. Joel, going to be able to try click all of these, as many as I can, but everybody's looking like they were able to get release price or better on this one. Horatio, even seeing people at FanDuel who they have been criticizing all morning for moving very, very quickly. Is it fair criticism? That's up to you guys to decide in the chat, but it has been a book that gets mentioned as moving very quickly. So if you're betting there only, consider other ones might have more success, unless you're like Jay, who was able to get it there, as well as a couple of others seeing in the chat. Michael, again, 143. Same thing with Jay, 143 as well. KODNYC, 143. A lot of them coming into the chat. So it looks like another good release here on this Saturday morning. Continuing on with another setup as we move through a massive Saturday card. Jumping to game number 773, Grand Canyon minus 2.5, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. 773, Grand Canyon minus 2.5, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Couple more seconds on 773, Grand Canyon minus 2.5 at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Game number 773, Grand Canyon minus 2.5 at 8 p.m. Eastern is a cancel. Not betting Grand Canyon minus 2.5. 773 is a cancel. For those of you that had show beginning with the cancel, that was a good prop you were able to cash. And for those of you who had it ending with the cancel, I think the book cleaned up on that one. I think that was the first time we've ever ended on a cancel, but that will wrap up the show for this Saturday morning. 3 releases in total. New Mexico State, Utah Valley over 145.5. Western Carolina, VMI under 140. And Florida, Kansas State under 142. That's right. Wow. End on a cancel. I think that's the first time ever. So the chat is being picked up internally. There's people much smarter than I that know what's going on. And that was as clean of a release show as we have had on a Saturday morning, with almost 1,400 people for the duration of the show following along. Again, 3 bets. Subscribe button is down below. There is a chance of a late Saturday subscriber only show. So be sure you're subscribed. Hit the bell notification. Get ready for that. Have it toggled to on. Like the video. Thank you for everybody stopping by. Great Saturday morning. If nothing later today, we have KC pending tomorrow in the AFC Championship game from the release show earlier in the week. Have a fantastic Saturday, everybody. We'll chat to you on the next show.